and correct stand. So come to standing, lift and roll the shoulders. Press the feet into the ground and just be balanced, forwards, backwards, left, right. And breathing in, bring the hands to the chest. Circling as you go up, stretching up, looking either forward or up. And then breathing out, lowering the arms, softening the knees. And breathing in, stretching up. And again, breathing out, lowering the arms. We're going to do this a few times. Breathing in, we're coordinating our movement with our breath. Our palms together, this time come down through the centre. And soften the knees and coming up again. And then open your arms, really bend the knees, and come down to hold your elbows.
You can straighten your knees, only if that's available to you, and your hips would be high, if not keep your knees bent. And then really soften the knees, press the feet into the ground, release the hands. Use your hands if you need to support your body as you walk up, to come up vertebra by vertebra to standing.
And then bring the hands together at the heart centre, circle up, and then just release back down. We're not going to do this next one for very long, but it is something that Carol's, I think, and Pat have done before. It's just bouncing, so you can just bounce your heels. It sets up a vibration that's really helpful, going from the soles of the feet to the top of the head. If you're feeling very energetic, you can bounce a little bit more and just release the shoulders, but I completely get that you might prefer to keep that, and then just release and just come to standing, and then releasing up, and then again just flop your hands, and then out, and then down, and then just come to a standstill. That will wake you up. Good. And then just lift and roll the shoulders. Hands to the, hello Sarah, hands to the heart centre, and I've got more people. I've got, hi everybody, sorry, Charlotte, I haven't seen you there, so hands to the heart centre, and circling the hands up, clasp and reverse. Press the feet down, palms of the hands up. If it's available to you for your neck, look up. If not, look ahead. And then just come to go, extending from the waist, come to lean over to the left, away from the right side. You can just bounce slightly in and out. If you've gone the other way, don't worry. And then pressing the palms up, feet down, and then just come to the other side. Come to stretch up again. If you have had your head up, bring your head upright, and separate the hands and just circle the wrists down. And then open and close the fingers. Just flicking them out. Very good against arthritis.
I'm starting to get cysts as well, mucus cysts.
So a further nod to arthritis is to take one hand, it doesn't matter, take the thumb and just subtly pull the thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth and little finger, and shake that hand. And then thumb of the other hand, second finger, can't count, third, fourth, and little finger. That's the first sign of Parkinson's, and people can't coordinate, that they can't do, yes. Well, no, don't worry, I haven't got that. And then just release, lift and roll the shoulders. We're going to carry on that slight hand movement, raising the right hand. The left hand can just hold your left thigh. And this is your brain, your coordination. So just then actually release, just circle the wrists in one direction. And circle the wrists in the other direction. Come to stillness and lower the right arm. Lift and roll the shoulders. And then raise the left arm. And the same thing here, circle the wrists in one direction. And then circle the wrists in the other direction. And then stillness and lower the left arm. Lift and roll the shoulders. Raise the right arm, press the feet down, and turn your head away from the right arm. A little bit or a lot, doesn't matter. And then breathe in and out. When you're driving, you have to turn your head. This is a very useful exercise. When you're ready, bring your head back to the centre and breathing out, lower the right arm. And then the left, raising up. If you don't drive, you still need to make this movement. Turn the head away from the left arm to the right. Only go as far as it works for you. No straining. In and out breath. And when you're ready, bring the head back to the centre and lower the left arm. Just relax, you can have your hands anywhere. And we're going to do a neck exercise now. So imagine your nose like a pencil and visualise drawing a horizontal figure of 8 with your nose. So as you breathe in, you're going one way or the other, it doesn't matter. One way, and then the other way. You can have your eyes open or closed. It's a very simple way to move the neck without going too far. And you won't have noticed it necessarily, but we always choose the side of the brain that's more dominant tends to initiate the movement. So when you draw an 8, you tend to do it in one way, and it's difficult if you do it the other way. But if you're able to and you want to, you reverse that 8 as you're going in the opposite direction. And if you get lost, doesn't matter, any way will do. This side-to-side movement not only is believed to encourage the brain hemispheres to communicate, but also the side-to-side movement has an effect on both the thyroid and the parathyroid glands, and they're part of our metabolic process. Not that I'm an expert, but and then just come to gently back to stillness. Lift and drop one shoulder and lift and drop the other. Lift and drop, lift and drop, and lift and drop. And then lift and roll both shoulders back. Clasp your hands behind your back and aim the knuckles to the floor. And this opens you out at the shoulder collarbone area. Maybe even bring the hands slightly away from you and just turn to the left. Come to the centre and turn to the right. And come to the centre. And then just release the hands. And then just again shake the hands out. And just lift and roll the shoulders again. And then going to come to the top of the mat. Hands together. This is gentle. Breathing in, hands up, looking up or straight ahead. Palms together. Bring them through the heart centre, softening the knees. And then put the hands slide the hands onto the shins. Half lift.
Breathing out, soften the knees and curl in. Half lift. And this time stay as you breathe out. And then softening the knees, pressing the feet into the floor, roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Hands up, and then lower the hands. And we'll do that again. Hands at the heart center, palms together. Circling the arms up, palms together. Come through the heart center, softening the knees, softening obviously the elbows, sliding the hands down to the shins. Half lift, extend from the tailbone to the top of the head. Breathing out, soften the knees and bend the elbows. Breathing in, extending, half lift. And as you breathe out, stay where you are. And then breathing in, soften the knees, press the feet down and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Hands up, stretch the fingers, and then lower the hands back down alongside you. And this time, hands together again at the heart center. Circle the arms up, palms through the center. But this time we're going to carry on down as we bend our knees to place the hands to either side of our feet. Bend your knees as much as you need to. And as either step or slide your right foot back, knee high for a nanosecond and then knee comes to the ground. Slide your left foot back. Your toes can be tucked or flat, you choose. Just breathing in, dipping the back and looking either up or along the mat. And breathing out, rounding the back, the chin comes to the chest. Breathing in, dipping the back. And breathing round the back, the chin comes to the chest. Tuck your toes, tummy in, lower abdominal muscles come inside to the spine. If downward dog's not great for you, then you can stay in cat and just dip your back and round. But if you are able to, come to our first downward dog, keeping the knees bent, feeling that you can widen your feet if you need to, and feeling also that you can bring your feet slightly closer to your hands. Lengthen the spine, and then begin to walk the dog by bending one knee and bending the other knee. Relaxing your head, perhaps looking to the navel, and then breathing out, bend both knees back down to the earth. Hands go to the left, and that gives space for your right foot to come up. Hands to either side of your right foot in a low lunge. And just lay your torso, just extend over your right leg, your back left foot can be tucked or flat. Just be on your fingertips to lighten up. And then relaxing, you might like your foot down, just come your bottom back slightly and extend your right leg a little bit or a lot, doesn't matter. Your toes can be up or your toes can be pointed to the mat. And then coming back, sliding your right foot back, and then coming to child's pose, knees slightly apart, feet together, and sliding your hands. There are different variations of child's pose, but this is extended child's pose, stretching your hands out in front of you. If this is too much, again, just come up slightly on your knees, don't feel you're squashing your tummy. Taking it in and an out breath here. And then coming back to kneeling and tabletop. And dipping the back. And rounding the back. Feet are flat or tucked. Dipping the back again.
looking up or along the mat. And as you round your back, tuck your toes if they're not already, tummy in. Come again to your soft downward dog. Lengthen the back. Begin to straighten the knees, but you don't have to straighten them. You can have your feet wider, closer to your feet. Walk the dog a couple of times. Tummy in. And then once more, soften the knees back down to the ground. Move your hands to the right, giving space for the left leg to come up. Hands to either side of your left leg. And just stretch forward. And then just come back to that 90 degree on your legs, coming up onto your fingertips, lengthening, lengthen the back, looking up or looking along the straight ahead of you. And then come to bring your bottom back towards your heels, perhaps not a huge amount, just stretching the torso forward, either toes up to the ceiling or toes pointing down. And then come back to hands either side, slide your left leg back and just sway your bottom from side to side. And imagine you're like a fish, you're looking down on a fish swimming, so as they sway from side to side, their head tends to go. So you can move your head from side to side as well. There's no right or wrong, it's a freestyle movement. Just giving fluidity to the body, again in a very controlled way. And then this time, I hope you can see me, you're going to come into a puppy pose. What you're going to do is to have your right arm crossed like that and your left arm stretching forward, your bottom's up. So again, each person will be individual. Right arm comes across, palm down, left arm stretches ahead, bottom slightly up. You'll find that sweet spot. You're bringing your bottom slightly back, just stretching out. Or come to your bottom high, just stretching out your left side. This is actually called like a quarter dog. And then sliding your hand back, your left hand goes across you and your right hand slides out. Again, you'll now be stretching out on your right side. Sliding your hand back, and now puppy pose, both hands stretch out. Your bottom's up high, and you are stretching out the upper back for an in and an out breath. And then sliding the hands back. We're going to come into kneeling high, so if you need a blanket for knees, then please take a blanket for knees. We're not going to be doing anything major here, but just come to lift and roll the shoulders and place the hands on the waist. So it's opening up the lungs, and if you bring your elbows towards the back, that's giving more space to the front, and then just dropping the hands. Breathing in, extend the arms up, clasp and reverse. Look up if that's open or available to you for your neck, and come, it doesn't matter which side, come to one side, looking up, breathing in, come to the center, stretch up, and then come to the other side. Come to the center, stretch up, and then just release the hands. Lift and roll the shoulders. And then come to drop the bottom to the side, and we're going to come to a seated position and stretch the legs out in front of us. Flesh out from under the bottoms if you need to do that. And lift and roll the shoulders. Just sitting up straight, and then relax the hands to however you want to. And come to the feet as we point and flex the toes a couple of times, getting circulation into the feet. And then begin to circle the ankles in one direction. And circle the ankles in the other direction. And then, as we've done before, continuing the vibration theme, just slightly, not big toe bones go together. That sets up a vibration on the whole of the body. And I know I've said this before, you'll find some Kundalini yoga, and they like you to do it very fast, about 50 times plus. But at any rate, just releasing that movement. And then both feet, almost like a paddle, going to one side and then to the other side. You're just moving your ankle in a slightly different way. And then just release the feet, just bounce the legs, and either pat or rub, or do a combination of both of the legs. You can do your arms, you can do your wherever. just it's like dry skin brushing. So you can do this anytime, anywhere. So, yes, possibly not. Yes, probably not. Just as long as you're, what's the word? It's very satisfying, and it really is good to boost the circulation. And then we came and come to the knees before we come to lying down or a couple of other things. Just come to bend up your right knee. Doesn't have to be right in, just a loose bending up. Clasp your hands underneath your knee and just lift the knee. And again, this is lubricating the knee joint, which is so useful. Easier if you're doing it on the seat, actually, if you're sitting at the desk. And then placing the knee on the ground. The whole of the knee in Ayurveda, which is the medicine side of yoga, is a marma point. So you can massage the top of the knee underneath. There's some acupressure points. Again, just really helpful if you have knee issues to nurture the knee. And then just slide that right leg out. And then slide the left leg in. Hugging the left knee in. And then dropping the hands to underneath the thigh. And then just... If you are particularly into your core, you will do this, not as I'm doing it, I'm leaning back, but you will tuck your tummy in really tight, sit up straight, your back will be straight, and then you'll do the movement, so that you're engaging your core at the same time, but that's quite hard, but just a small point, I suppose. And then just placing the left foot on the floor, and then just circling round and massaging, really nurturing that knee, and then just sliding the leg out. And then just have your feet slightly apart in a V, or a lot apart, depending. I'm constrained by papers here. How you want to. Just extend your feet. Just touch your hands to either side of you. This lifts you up. And then just take your hands and slide. Feel that your back's lengthening. A forward bend. Sliding down. Where you come to stop, that's fine. It might be here, it might be here. If you've got long arms, you might want to slide down to touch and hold your big toes with your thumb and second and third finger. Feel the stretch on the inside of the leg, particularly for me, I've got it at the upper inner part of the groin. So that's obviously an area I don't necessarily use that often. And actually, interestingly enough, that's the area when you see older women with fantastic figures posing in bikinis, that's the part that often goes that inner leg, and they can't do much about that. And that often gives your age away. So then very gently, tummy in, just slide the hands back up. Take your hands underneath your knees to soften them. Just come forward a little bit as a rest. If you are particularly into your core, you can Hold under your legs and just lift your toes off the ground. That engages your abdominal muscles. Anybody with a bad back, then don't do the next one. Legs up. And then of course boat. A bad back definitely don't do, and I can't really do it. Well done, Charlotte. Perfect demonstration there. Hands out. When you're ready, come forward. And then just come to lying on your back. And knees bent, feet hip width apart. I'll come to, actually these first two exercises come within the long COVID and chronic fatigue and stress and burnout aspects. So knees bent, feet are hip width apart. They can even be wider than hip width apart. Your hands can be resting on your abdomen, or if you really want to stretch out on your lymphatic system, you can have your hands out like a T. That stretches under the arms. Just be comfortable. Or your palms can be down alongside you. Choose where you feel comfortable. And then just start to sway both knees to one side, and your hip on the opposite side will lift. Bring the knees back to the centre, and then just very gently slide or let both knees drift to the other side. How much you let them drift is up to you, a little bit or a lot. They can almost go down to the ground or stay halfway up. And then just again, start to sway the knees from side to side. The wider you have your feet, the more your knee will drop into the centre. And you might notice that your head is starting to want to get involved in the movement. And I'm not going to be precise here. You can start to let your head roll or move from side to side too. So if you want to follow the yogic wisdom, your head moves away from the direction of the knees, but really it doesn't matter. The importance of the exercise is to let the weight of your body sink to the ground and let the sensory aspect, the feeling aspect of the movement be enjoyed. And this is one of the basic somatic movements. And somatic movements comes into the feeling aspect of a pose or movement, which disconnects your mind from stress centres. So hence it's meant to be very releasing. And then just very, very gently come back to the centre. Make any adjustments that you need to. And then hug one knee and then the other knee into the chest, so that both knees are hugging into the chest. Again, if you want to have a focus on your core, you will have your tummy, your lower abdominal muscles, connecting, pulling in slightly, engaging slightly into the spine. And your hands will be doing less work. If you want to just relax, then you probably will find that your hands are just doing a lot of the work for you. So yogically, you're all supposed to let your core do the work, but really, whatever works for you is fine, just be relaxed. And then just slightly rock from side to side, so you're massaging across your back here. And again, as you're rolling from side to side, the back of your head is connecting to the ground, and you're going right over 4 kind of major acupressure points on the back of the head, which is an added bonus, as well as across the lower back. And then we come to both a somatic movement, well it's also the chronic stress and long COVID movement. So hugging both these into the chest, breathing in, loosely raise your left leg, it can be bent at the knee, and your left arm behind you. If there's an option to extend your left heel or not. And then maybe take a breath in and out. Feel the stretch under your arm, connecting into the lungs, the chest, the heart, under the arms, the upper lymphatic system, and breathing out now, lower your arm, hug your left knee into your chest again. And then in your own time, as you next breathe in, raise the right arm up and behind you. You can even touch the back of the hand to the floor. Option to extend the right heel and your right knee can be bent. It's a very soft pose. And just breathing in and out. And then breathing out when you're ready, hug the right knee back into the chest. And just repeat this movement a couple of times in your own breath pattern. You can hold the movement as you extend out with the left side or left side for a breath or two. When you do a movement, one side at a time, it can often be quite restful, slows everything down, and you feel the movement a little bit more in your awareness generally. And then perhaps think about making the next one the last one. And then hugging the knees into the chest. This time, hugging both knees into the chest. And still holding your knees, let both knees drift away to arm's length. Both knees hug into the chest. And both knees drift away to arm's length. And just do a couple of those in your own time, hugging in and just releasing. Hugging in and just releasing. And then one more time, hugging into the chest and then releasing. And then keep your left knee hugged in towards your chest, and perhaps using your hand to support and guide the right foot down to the ground. You can hold it under your right leg if you need to. And then with the right knee hugged into the chest, still holding it, let it move away to arm's length. Hug, I said the right knee, didn't I? The left knee, hug the left knee into the chest and let it move away to arm's length. I do apologise. And then hug the left knee into the chest and let it move away to arm's length. And again, hugging in and just releasing. And then just dropping your hands to underneath your left thigh, clasping your hands maybe, and stretching your left leg up to the ceiling, maybe extending the left heel. Your left knee doesn't have to be straight, it can have a bend in it. And then start to walk your hands up the back of the left leg. Where your hands stop, that's fine. You're bringing your legs slightly closer to your face. And then you can either stay here. If you want to engage your core, the next stage of this exercise would be to put your hand, perhaps your right hand, under your head and neck. And as you breathe out, lift your head and neck, supported by your right hand, up towards your left leg. If you're very strong in your core and your back's flat on the ground, and your neck and head are fine, you can release your support and hold your left leg with both hands. It's up to you. And then just release and relax back to the ground, using your fingers just to massage, just slide your hands down the back of your leg, your left leg. Hug your left knee into your chest and open your left leg to the side, placing your left ankle on top of the right thigh, palms down, hands down on the floor beside you, and then just very gently sway the knees from side to side. The figure of 4 is an upside down pigeon, but a much softer version. And as you take your leg off, your left leg off the knee, You might like to hold your left lower leg with your hands, your left hand just below the knee, and your right hand perhaps holding the heel of your left foot, and just stretch your leg in towards you, just slightly exaggerating that pigeon aspect of the outer left hip, and then just releasing the leg, hugging the knee into the chest, and placing the left foot back onto the ground. Palms down alongside you as you just sway your knees from side to side. And then raise your arms up above you, releasing and relaxing the backs of the hands above you. And then again, once more, sway your knees from side to side. Just enjoying the sway. When you're ready, bring your knees to the centre, breathing out, lower the hands back down alongside you. And then hug the right knee into towards you. Just enjoy that Apanasana pose, working on the Apana energy, and holding the right knee, letting the knee move away from you to arm's length, and breathing out, hugging the right knee into the chest. Breathing in, the right knee goes away from you to arm's length, and breathing out, hugging into the chest. And just do that a few times in your own breath pattern. Just check that you're not holding tension in your neck. The back of the neck is slightly long, your chin's not shooting up to the ceiling, so just relaxed. And then when you're ready, just gently let the hands drop to the back of the right thigh, clasping the hands, and very gently supporting the right leg, raise the right leg to the ceiling. You have an option to keep your right knee bent, or you can extend the right heel. If you do, you'll feel that lovely stretch along the back of the leg. And in your own time, walk the hands up the back of the right leg, bringing the right leg towards you. Stop when you feel that's good, right for you. And you can either stay here, you can drop a hand behind you to support your head and neck, and on an out breath, lift your head and neck looking toward your big right toe. And if you feel that you want to engage for the final expression of this pose, you can hold your right leg with both hands, looking at your big right toe. And then use your fingers just to massage the back of your leg as you just release back down to the ground. Hug the right knee into the chest. And then open the right knee to the right and place the right ankle on top of the left leg. Hands down, palms down on the floor as you just sway your knees from side to side. That sway can be a little bit or a lot. Whatever works for you. And then to support your right leg, hold the right, below the right knee with the right hand, and just hold perhaps your right heel with your left hand, and just hug your right knee in towards you, and you'll feel that stretch on the outer right hip, and that's your piriformis muscle, which was one of the little muscles that can very much get implicated in lower back problems. It can get slightly short, it's a short muscle anyway, but it can get shortened, and again, there's just a very satisfying hip opener, an alternative to pigeon. And then just very gently release the foot back down to the floor. Hug both knees into the chest. Slide the hands down the shins, and then hold just above the ankles so that your knees are out, your big toes are vaguely, your knuckle, your bunions, your big toe joint is kind of there, so they're touching. It's like a supine Baddha Konasana. You're opening up now the inner groin, and you're opening up the lower lymphatic system. You can do this pose, of course, seated, and you can do this a number of variations. And then hugging the knees into the chest. And then we're going to do
for a very brief moment, lying tree. So extend your left leg along the floor. Then let your right foot come to the floor. Your right knee is bent, and open out your right knee to the side. If you need a blanket just to pad under your right thigh, then you're welcome to take that. And if you do this at home, you're very welcome to place a bolster underneath your right thigh to support it. So lying tree allows us to open up fully the hip. Sometimes in tree we're so focused on trying to balance, we don't actually open up. And the sole of your foot doesn't have to connect to the inside of your left thigh, but it can do. It's that image of tree in your mind. Your hands can be anywhere. They can be on your tummy, they can be in prayer position, or you can do tree like you do when you're standing and have your arms, palms together up above you. The aim here is to really let the body sink into the ground, and it allows you to open your hip that little bit further than you might otherwise do when you're balancing. And then breathing out, lower the arms. Use perhaps your right hand to support underneath your right leg to bring up your right leg, and hug your right knee into your chest again. Hug the left knee into the chest again. Just rock from side to side. Both knees together, just circle the knees in the same direction. So you're going kind of all along around the base of your spine, and then circle both knees in the same direction the other way. And then place the right foot on the floor and extend the right foot out along the mat, hugging the left knee into the chest and supporting the left knee to open the left knee out to the left. Your lying tree on the other side. You can extend your right heel, almost pushing the right heel away as if you're extending the right foot into the floor. And again, you've got the same options. You can support underneath your left thigh, you can have your hands on your abdomen in prayer pose, or above you, as you would do in tree. New Year is always a time for resolutions and perspective, reflectiveness, and particularly it's cold as well, everything of course gets more slow and slugs up, and the hips, particularly post-Christmas, is often an area that can get slugged up, and illness as well. So this is just a very simple way to just open the hips and just let the blood flow into that area. And anything on the lower groin area, opening the groin, what we did in supine Vaticanasta, or in this lying tree pose, is brilliant for men too. Not that any man is with us, but for husbands, partners, for their prostate health. And then just hugging the left knee back into the chest, bringing the right knee into joint. And then dropping the hands behind to clasp them up behind your thighs, and just raising your legs softly to the ceiling. You don't have to extend anything. Your knees can be bent, your feet are as are, and then just sway slightly from side to side. So this is a mini inversion. Imagine yourself, I think I've used this analogy, like a piece of seaweed, just slightly flowing in the water as the water's lapping. Very subtle movement. So any inversion is excellent for the endocrine system as a whole, so all hormonal balance. And if you wanted to really think about hormonal balance, you could bring your legs up against the wall and support yourself and stay there for 15 to 20 minutes. We're just giving a nod to that. Downward dog also is considered an inversion among other things. So we have thought about that as well. And then hugging the knees into the chest once more, and then again rocking from side to side. And then just placing the feet onto the mat. Again, feet are hip width apart. Palms are down alongside you for support. And we're going to do a couple of pelvic tilts. So flattening the back to the ground, and then releasing the back so the tailbone comes now towards the ground. So there's a little gap
that appears underneath your lower back. And when you're ready, just again rolling and flattening the back as if you're going to lift your bottom, and then releasing. And you can carry on doing this, or if you want to go to the next stage, you would actually then flatten your back and actually lift your bottom in a half bridge posture, raising the arms, the bent elbows above you, chin comes into the chest, stretching gently up behind you, and then as you breathe out, lowering both the back vertebra by vertebra and the arms back down to the earth. Palms down, and then just again, just flattening pelvic tilt, just rocking on the lower back. And then very gently come to, I'm going to give you a very mini, it's a nyasa. It's not a yoga nidra, it's like a nyasa rotation point. So come to either rest with your knees together and your feet out in constructive rest, or you can come to lying in shavasana. Come to a comfortable position, to however that suits you. This is quite a short reading. I've got some very lovely tinky bells going on. Someone's very.
Sorry,
That's all right.
I thought it was you, Christine.
Come again. You're like my little Koshi bells that I ring around. So come to relax, however that works for you. And then bring your attention to the right leg, the whole of the right leg. The right hip cup to the right heel, right sole of the foot, big toes, and then all the little toes, and then the space beyond the toes. And then bring the attention to your left leg, the whole of the left leg, from the left hip cup to the left heel to the sole of the foot, big toe, little toes, and the space beyond the toes. Breathe in. Bring your awareness to your hip cups, your groin, waist, pelvis, pubic bone. Relax the hips and think of gravity taking the hips and the earth supporting them. Bring your awareness to your right arm, your left arm, the shoulders relax, your jaw's soft and the face muscles are soft. The shoulders move away from the collarbone, a sense of gravity again. Bring your awareness to the lower back, middle back, upper back, underneath the shoulder blades, and relax the whole spine, vertebra by vertebra, from the tailbone to the lower back, middle back, between the shoulder blades, into the neck, back of the head. You bring awareness to the abdominal muscles, the lower abdomen, below the belly button, above the belly button, right side and left side of the belly button. And experience the whole of your digestive system relax as you breathe out. Relax your diaphragm, your right rib cage, left rib cage, the throat relaxes, and allow your lungs to relax. Bring the awareness of your whole body, your legs, torso, arms, face. And try and look at your face. Let go. Teeth are slightly apart, and you feel the pulsation in your gums. Relax the cheek muscles, the eye muscles, the eyebrows. Relax your right ear and your left ear, behind your ears. The right and left side of your brain. And bring awareness now to your third eye, the centre of your forehead. And then bring your awareness to your nostrils. And as you breathe in, Breathe in through your nostrils to a point that you imagine to be the centre of your head, around the third eye. And like a mist, breathe the air out. And the air is almost transparent, and it mists down inside you, cleaning and taking with it anything that doesn't serve you today. That could be physical or emotional. And it leaves your body through the soles of the feet. And another couple of breaths in your own time as you breathe in through the nostrils to the third eye. And your breath, transparent veil, floats down, taking with it anything not needed by you today, and just leaves through the soles of the feet. And then just do a couple of those breaths in your own time. And then let that thought go. And before we come to a seated position, I wanted to read you a poem from a very lovely book that Carol bought me. This one I've chosen is called Comfort. In the silence, I become aware of the stillness, observe the feeling. Detach from thoughts, accept the sounds, and surrender to the ground. Finding the pause brings clarity, while resting delivers peace. Simply withdrawing awakens my soul. Nestling in contemplation, I feel at home, knowing of happiness in my space and freedom in the refuge of my comfort place. And then just start to rub your palms, and when you rub them, just place your palms over your closed eyes. And then just move your palms away from your closed eyes. And open your eyes, letting back the light back in again. And then just rub your palms again. And just smooth your aura down, just outside of the arms, just gently smoothing your body down. And then hugging the knees into the chest, and in your own time, come to a very gentle seated position. No hurry, don't spoil all the lovely relaxation that you come to. But when you're ready, come to a seated position. And again, we're going to finish on a somatic movement. So this is the opening sequence for Reiki as well, of course. So just very, very gently hold or connect your hands to the side of your face. You might feel it more comforting to just bring your face slightly forward. In Reiki, you'll stay here for a good 5-10 minutes. Again, you're connecting to the sensory or the feeling aspect. Your hands are connecting to your head, and that connection brings the awareness into the feeling and disconnects the mind from the stress centers of the brain. And then very gently bring one hand to the back of the head, perhaps lower down, just supporting the head, and the other hand to the chest. Again, you might like your head slightly forward. And then just bring your hand at the heart to the forehead. And press your hand at the forehead in and the back of the hand slightly. So there's a slight, again, awareness of feeling. Bringing the hand at the forehead back down to the heart. And then the hand at the back of the head to the navel. And then the hand at the navel joins the other hand at the heart. And just then take a bow for yourself. Thank you for joining me today. going to